How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all cranked up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Elias. And if you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. He is a wonderful illustrator and artist. He worked on a ton of comic books during the 40s and 50s was his major era. And I really love his stuff. I feel like he's got a great sensibility about him, kind of that classic comic book stylings, but really a creative mind behind there. This one in particular really caught my eye because it was Robots of the Round Table. I thought that was a really fun idea. So play on cyborgs with King Arthur kind of style, but really fun. I mean, great expressions, really cool silhouettes, and I love how each of the robots has their own unique head and armor set. Really cool idea. I did a lot of World War II and war comics, as well as war fronts and everything too. Really great artist. I urge you guys to check out more stuff from him. I think he's got especially this character too. I thought this character was really fun. Great draftsmanship and wonderful silhouette, and then his own crazy sensibilities with the way that he comes up with these imaginary characters of this giant fish man. Really cool. And one thing that he was really good at that I'd study him for a lot would be the way that he does like tanks and planes. That can be difficult if you work on a lot of human characters where you have to think about bones and muscles, and then you switch over to thinking about the structure of wings and wheels and windows and all those different mechanical parts. They work a little bit different drawing those versus drawing the human figure and everything, which something that I need to spend more time doing too, so I get a better balance between the two. Just a phenomenal artist. This one was really fun too. I thought that was a cool idea. It's kind of like a progressive sketch for an animation, even with this conveyor belt for the brain robbers of Satellite X. It's a fun idea, and really kind of that 1950s Mars Attacks kind of aesthetic there. But I did want to share a quote that I was able to find from him, and he said, "Largely it was just a matter of plugging away." And he was talking about how he went from not having a job in the industry that he wanted to getting his first job, and how everybody said, "Well, we'd love to hire you, but do you have any experience?" And he's like, "No, I don't have any experience yet." And then he'd keep going around and get in that loop of, you have to have experience before you can get the experience to have experience. But he said that the way that he came over it was just to keep at it and to never give up. I thought that was a great advice. Just keep plugging away. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into some animation, continuing with our secret password shot here. And we're using the Malcolm V2 rig in Autodesk Maya 2014. And then before we get started today, I just wanted to go over something that I haven't said for probably a couple weeks here. But the main goal of doing these videos each and every day is to hopefully encourage you guys and inspire you to take another step in your own journey for making your dreams come true, and to hopefully make you feel like you're not alone in those days, and never claim to be someone who has all the answers and who knows the best way to do it. I'm just on my journey too. Maybe I'm a few steps ahead of you or a few steps behind you, but either way, like I said, my main goal of doing this is to hopefully share what I know, because I know when I was first starting out, there wasn't a lot of content out there. So I was just thrown into classes right away, and I'd never hardly even opened Maya by the time that I had gotten into classes. So this is hopefully just a place that'll give you an intro to see if this is kind of something you want to get into, if you like this kind of stuff. Maybe you'll learn something, whether it's something to do or something not to do, or at least get some ideas of something that you can add into your own animation, or just think differently about the way that you work. And maybe you'll like the way that you work more, or you'll have an idea here, or you'll blend it, or start a discussion too down below in the comments. Anytime you agree or disagree with anything I do, I'm happy to learn from you guys and share what I know as well. So thanks for all the likes and subscribes. I think you guys are amazing, and let's go ahead and delve in and just have some fun together. Okay, so where we left off yesterday, we did some eye stuff, I think, was the main thing that we did yesterday. So I think for today, I'm going to start doing a little more keep alive in the hands in the beginning, and then get into doing some more stuff on the lip sync. So before we get started there, let's look at this and just delete that for now so that we don't have the close giving us a little extra bit of lag here. And let's go ahead and save our file. Remember, it's always good to save multiple versions and to save. Actually, before we get in there, I never went in and loosened up the spine a little bit on the walk in, so maybe we'll do that here instead. So let's look at the rotate X and the translate Y. We'll get both of those pulled up here. And let's look just the translate Y here for a second. Okay, yeah, the rotate X. And we'll punch in just where we want these keys. So key there. Actually, we'll just do a little bit there. And this is just a little bit of keep alive into the spine. Nothing too exciting. But it's a little rigid in that walk-in, and I realized as I was looking through this here that I never went back and added that in there. So let's try and do that. And then we'll offset it with the chest here as well. And go back here, and we're just going in between our up and down extremes there. The way there. And back here. Little one here. And then we'll leave it alone for that part there. And bring that down there. And let's just look at the rotate X now here. And kind of balance it out a little bit better. And probably minimize it a bit more too, especially that first one. And then we'll offset it. And that should just give us a little bit of looseness in the spine so it's not so rigid on that walk in here. Again, it's nothing that we really want to see jerking around or anything, just something that hopefully will give us so that there's some kind of compression in the belly and in the spine a little bit so it's not just so flat and held off there. Alright. And now let's go ahead and grab not the neck. We want this portion, this portion, this portion, and this here. And we're just going to look at the rotate X's on everything here. And we'll go ahead and just go key selected here. There. And there. This one, and this is just going to be for offsetting what we have on the hips here. So go ahead and delete that. And keep that one. Delete that one. Let's just polish up that move a little bit more too. And just get rid of a couple of these keys here where we've got a little bit of grit in there. And keep that one here. Delete those. And this one here. Okay, and let's try and go back in there and just look at the chest now. Okay, so we've got our rough timing that we want on there, so let's just look at the rotate X's here. This would be down a little bit. And this would be up a little bit. And down a little bit. And I'm sure I'll have to minimize this in a second here. Up a little bit. Down a little bit. And up a little bit. Up again. Yeah, I'm sure I'll have to minimize this even more. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, it's too much, so I'll bring that back here. That's too much, so we'll bring this up. Again, too much, so we'll scale it back here a little bit more. This one down. I want to try and keep it in the same universal space here. This one will go a little bit less. And a little bit less there. feels a little much. I'll try to keep those down a little bit more. Alright, let's see how this plays out here. Let's just do a play blast and see how it feels. Alright, it's okay. Needs some cleanup though. There's one that's right about in that portion here where he's bending over. It's one of these guys here. I think it's probably this one. I'll need to bring those back down a little bit more. Just feel a little too busy in there. Mostly on the hips there too. Try and tone that down a little bit more. Feels a little bit better. Yeah, let's just do a play blast there too. Alright, I think it's okay. We can leave it like that for now. But let's do a little bit in the belly on the walk so we can do just a little bit of movement there too. Alright, so let's go back in here. And which is the one that we had this belly stuff working on. This one. This one. Okay. Alright, this one will let us go. No, it's the like butt controller. Let's see, maybe it's this one. I know we had it on one of these. Let's look at the end here. It's not that guy. Hold on here. Okay, great, found it. So it's this one here. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually we'll grab that one. And we'll also grab no, not that one. This one maybe? Yeah. So grab those two. Right? And we'll kind of play them off each other a little bit. So we'll go. Let's look at our translate Y's here on all of these and the hips so we can get a basic timing here. So translate Y, we'll key that. And this one, then we'll delay this by a couple of frames here. And key that. And that one. And this guy here. And that one there. And this guy there. And this one here. Bring that there. And up here. this one over here. And we'll kind of leave it alone for there. So just pretty much on the walk-in. Okay. And then we're gonna unclick the body, so now we just have that, and we have a rough timing based on what the hips were doing. So let's start doing something with that there. So let's take just the chest here, the belly. I'm gonna move this a couple frames sooner. And we'll go down here, up there. Let's see how that works. Let's look at, which one was it? This one. This one here. Okay. In this case, we'll start off going down a little bit here. Move that forward a couple of frames too. And this is where it should be, down there, right? So it follows after, but this should be like the high here. Yeah, this should be another up there. Let's see. It should go down a little bit after that step. So somewhere like that. Go up around here. And then down again. That one. So it's just a couple of frames after the hip, really. Goes up there, lands, 1, 2, and then go down again. We'll let it go up again here. And down again there. And probably one more time, just a little bit as we taper it off. And that might be a little too over exaggerated. Let's just see where we're at right now and do a quick play last. Alright, it's okay, but I think I'm going to pull the rotate X. I'm going to scale it back a little bit more in the spine now that I'm looking at it, but I think the little bit of delay in the butt helps a little bit for the lower part. But there's just a couple little shaky bits in there that I'm not really loving, so let's try and scale that back a little bit more. keep polishing that up until it looks a little bit better. Let's look here, look at the rotate X there. Try and even that out pretty, a little bit more. Alright, let's do another play blast and see how it feels now. Alright. It's pretty zeroed out there, so it shouldn't be pretty minimized so that it shouldn't be too noticeable in the spine now, but just have a little bit of, so it doesn't kind of pixel lock into that main position. We've got a little bit of movement through there by doing the belly and the butt. I think that helped a little bit more. And then the next thing I want to do is do a little bit of change of shape in that hand, because it kind of holds the same shape throughout that first part. But let's go ahead and save our file one more time. Okay, and we're back. So let's take a look at this hand here. So I just want to get a little bit of change of shape so that it's not the same position that we have holding for, like, what, 4 seconds there. So let's just grab everything here, and we'll set that on there. And then when do we start to change shape? I think right about there, right? So let's do one about here where this one maybe goes a little bit further back and goes a little bit, just so we have another little adjustment kind of hand pose. Nothing too extreme here. And this one will maybe go a little bit forward here and out, and then we'll kind of ease in and out of these just so we have a little bit of movement on that hand here. Have a couple poses to work with. Nothing too extreme. I don't want it to be a noticeable thing, but I also don't want it to flat off for that long without really changing shape here. I'll maybe peel this one up a little bit more. And back down. And maybe flatten it up a little bit more. So push that down a little bit. So it's still, you know, a very similar hand pose, but not exactly the same. And maybe bring this one up a little bit more here too. And get that one up a little bit. And this one could come up a little bit here too. Again, just so we get a little bit of change of shape in those hand poses there. And I'll grab everything here. And we'll set that there. Delete that one. And I'll delete this. And that. And go all the way till we've got, where were we? I think it starts to change about here. So that's our last frame of this that we have. And delete pretty much everything in between. So we'll just have these first main keys here. A little bit more ease in there. I'm not going to worry about that too much just yet. So we've got our first one at 0, our next one at 39. We'll delete all of these, and I think we'll do a little bit of drag on the fingers too when he sways the tablet down and back up. Okay, so now we've got our main So take everything that we have for like the first 5 frames, so we have a little bit of a moving hold, and hold that till about 30. And we've got our next one, which will wait until about 46 to hit. And then we'll go a few frames after that and hold that till about 75. Then go to, let's see, try to find a better midpoint here, which would be about 103. I'll take 100 and bring that there. Okay, so I've got a couple of little poses there. And then one other thing I wanted to do before we get too far in is like in this part here, we'll key everything at 55. And we'll look here, we'll drag these a little bit. Down here. Go a little bit up and then back. So we have a little bit of movement. Maybe hit that a couple frames sooner. Maybe not as soon. Just so we get a little bit of movement there. And then here, hold that. Go ahead and drag a little bit here. Drag it down there. Back up. And back down. So you get a little bit of movement throughout there. Okay, and then we'll take everything on the tips of the fingers and the mids, and we'll go ahead and just delay all of those a frame here. And then just take all of the tips. And we'll delay all those a frame as well. And we'll take everything on the index and we'll push that, let's see, forward a frame there. So it leads it. Oh, actually forward frame, not back frame. Forward frame there, and delay this one a frame. Okay, just so we have a little bit of keep alive, and then we'll do, I think, a little bit in the thumb, but let's do a play blast and just watch that hand and see how it works. Alright, I think that works. Just a, like I said, just a little bit of keep alive there. So we've got that little bit of change of shape that happens right about there. And then we've got that little bit of drag and overlap in the fingers there. So we get just a little bit of movement throughout there. And then I think I'm going to keep the thumb fairly similar here to what we have, but I think I will do just that little bit of drag when he kind of drops the tablet a little bit or swings it. So at this point we go rotate it. So X up a little bit. And down a little bit. Back up. think for this one I am going to keep it pretty solid on there, just because I want, if the back is moving around a little bit, we're going to need the thumb to be pretty planted in there. So I don't think I'm going to do too much with that, but I wanted to do a little bit. So let's just do a play blast and watch. Alright, it's coming together alright. So we don't have a ton of time left, so what should I attack? I think I want to save doing some lip sync so I can do like a whole day or a whole hour on just the lip sync. I did want to do a little bit in the fingers and thumbs on that point up so we get a little bit of overshoot on them. And then I want to do something with the door a little bit more too, so maybe we'll try and hit those two notes. I think that's something that we can do within the time. So we'll do, save our file off again, and we'll get back. Okay, so let's look at those fingers there. So what it would be is right here. I think we do a little bit of drag down there. Let's take what we have at 180 and put that to, or 80 and put that to 83. Go up a little bit here. And down. Let's see. Probably one frame sooner on that. Go maybe a little bit more down, just so there's a little bit more reverberation there. Maybe not. Maybe a little bit lower. I feel like there should be some kind of an overshoot though. Maybe not that big. Bring that back a little bit more. So there's just a little bit more drag in the finger itself. Okay, and let's look at that thumb as well. Do a little bit on there too, just so there's a little bit of life through there. So at this point maybe we could drag it back a little bit. Have it back a little bit. Have it go down and back. So set something there. And let it go up a little bit here. And then down. Maybe a couple frames sooner. And set that a couple frames sooner there. Okay, let's just do a quick play blast and watch just that hand from about 70 to, what, about 107? Okay. Alright, it works, but it's too over-exaggerated. So, I'm gonna just do like 10% of what I have right now. So, let's go back to the finger here. And, like I said, it works, but it's just too much. So, go in here. And bring that down. Bring that down. Bring this down. This down. Okay. Yeah, let's try that now. Okay, that's a little better. Just don't want to get the point across. Haha. But have a little bit of drag in there, and I think that works, and a little bit of mix up. So let's try and do just a little bit on the other fingers there as well, so they don't feel so stiff. So let's get in here. We'll grab all of those. And we'll drag them a little bit there. Hold on a sec. Why is this one acting funky? There we go. So go a little bit that way. Go a little bit this way. And then go back to about there. I think that should be a little bit further down. So you have a little bit of flop there. And maybe we'll exaggerate this one a little bit more. And delay that one a frame. And let's see how that plays out here. Alright, I think that works. We get a little bit of looseness in those fingers, and yeah, it's not too distracting from everything else we have, but it gives us a little bit of that drag and flop in there. Okay, now lastly, I think I wanted to try and, let's see if I can move this. Okay, let's grab both of these, shift click both of those, and shift click the main one and parent those together. Now if we did that correctly, we should be able to move all of those. Okay, and shift click those and hit P and parent those together, and we should hit this. Okay, so you want to play off the timing of when this goes. Those will rattle a little bit, just to accentuate the door a little bit more. So let's go back to, let's say, around 50 here, and just set up our basic timing based on when this thing works. So start there, 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 and let's see, there, just so we can get a basic timing for those. Okay. Oh, did I not have those selected? Okay, go back and we'll do that one more time. Okay, so we've got our glow, and we'll get both of our pipes, so we've got everything together. Set a key there, set a key there, 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 and there. Okay, now we should have a timing. Okay, great. So we'll go do a quick one the other way. Go back again. Delete this. Delete that. Go back a couple times real quick. So slowly go so that we wouldn't hit this just yet. Delay that maybe another 2 frames. So it starts slow. Then and then goes back. Stays dead. And here we'll have it open again. Dead again. Bring that there. Okay, it's real rough, but let's see how that comes together here. It isn't half bad. I think we need one that would go a little bit past. So this would go over, hold on. Over a little bit more and come back. And this would go over a little bit more and come back. So that there's a little bit of settle. And this should start going the other way. Just to like rev up. And maybe give me one more frame before that goes. It's like an anticipation. And then same thing here. I want to start with it going a little bit the other way. And go a couple frames before with it overshooting inward and then recoiling. Okay, and let's watch that, see how. Okay, just shows that it's like trying to open and struggling to open and just not getting there. I think that works, helps exaggerate that the door's trying to open a little bit. So we'll keep that. And let's see. What else could we do? We got about 10 minutes left to do a little bit. I guess we could start on the mouth. Let's turn the hair on. Maybe we could do a little bit in the hair here. So let's grab this. Turn that hair visibility on here. Come up with a little bit at the end. Maybe this piece of hair could flop back. Not so much there. set that there for now. We'll zero everything out here. Gotta see if we can get it looking a little bit better though. Don't love that pose. Zero everything out here. And same there. And this one as well. Keep it so it just flops over at the end. Get that so it's a couple frames sooner. This one, so I got a little bit more. And this one should be further pushed back. So rotate that back a little bit so it's got somewhere to come. As much, but a little bit more. Oh, but remember, this isn't the end of our shot. We've got plenty of time to get there. Okay. So that's what we want. Then we'll just kind of vary between those two extremes here. Let's keep that hair on throughout. Okay. That's okay. Again, kind of deforms a little funky, but we'll deal with that. We'll work around it. So it's going to go, this would not be going yet, would still be dragging down and over. So it kind of gets that little bit of a flop there. This one should still be dragging a little bit more too. Maybe give me one more frame in between those as well. So set that, delete that. This one should go a little bit further. as well, just so that the extreme is a little bit more. We'll go like bring that to about 126. Delete that one. And bring that over there so you get a little bit of movement there. And bring it there. And then go back a little bit more. Okay, let's just do a play blast looking at that. So it's pretty much going to start at about 105. Yeah, let's watch that. Alright, I think that came together alright. Gets a little bit of flop in there, and it was something that we could add in pretty quick little pass. Sometimes you got to think about you know, the time you have and how much you can attack in there. So let's do a play blast of everything, and we'll look back at where we started. Alright, it's coming together. Probably do another couple of passes on this thing and really get into the lip sync hopefully tomorrow. I think we've got a lot of stuff that's a little more looser. Went through and loosened up those hands in a couple of spots, went through and loosened up the spine and the belly and the booty. Added that little bit of like shifting cogs on the door to accentuate, to drag the eye, force the eye to look there occasionally as well. And then we added that little flop in the hair at the end, so that was kind of fun. So we started off looking at the beautiful work of Elias, and he said largely it was just a matter of plugging away. It's the same thing that we talk about all the time, is just carve out some time, take another step in your journey. I hope that you guys are pushing yourselves and trying each and every day and keeping focused on your dreams and making those happen as much as you can. So thanks for all the likes and subscribes. You guys are amazing. As always, please down below throw links to your own stuff so I can give you some thumbs up and some extra encouragement for anything that you guys are creating. And I think we'll wrap it up for today. So that being said, we will see you for some more animation, for some more imagination, for some more creation, some more just having fun together and learning and taking another step in our journeys tomorrow.